Our next movie is named Adventures in Babysitting, and it's a Chicago teenager movie. And Chicago movies are always about teenagers. Nobody above the age of 19 lives in Chicago.
Ferris Bueller?
We commute from out of town, I guess. That's a cross between two other Chicago teenager movies, Risky Business and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I can read your mind.
This movie probably can. This movie could also be called Ferris Bueller's Sister's Day Night Off. It stars Elizabeth Shue as a babysitter whose best friend calls from the downtown bus station with a desperate cry for help. She needs somebody to come and pick her up.
Well, can you pick me up?
No, Brenda, I'm babysitting.
Chris, I can't call anybody else. My dad doesn't know. He'd kill me if he found out. Chris, I'm begging you. It's really scary here. I've just seen 3 people shoot up. A bald Chinese lady with no pants on, and there's this old guy outside who wants his bedroom slippers.
Get out of my house!
Going against her better judgment, she packs up the 3 kids she's responsible for and takes them into the city where their car is stolen with them inside of it.
Did you steal all of these cars?
Yeah, it gets me some good money.
Isn't it kind of dangerous?
They escape from the car thieves by walking across a beam, a dangerous way out of the chop shop, but their escape route leads them on stage at a Chicago blues bar.
Sir, we didn't mean to interrupt your little concert here. If you don't mind, we'd just like to let ourselves off the stage.
Nobody gets out of this place without singing the blues.
What?
Nobody leaves this place without singing the blues.
You want me to sing?
There are a lot of neat adventures in this movie and a lot of good energy from the actors, and everything revolves around Elizabeth Shue. You might remember her from The Karate Kid as Ralph Macchio's girlfriend. She gives a strong and likable performance in this movie, and the movie has one absolutely great scene in that blues bar. When she steps up to the mic, he says, "Nobody leaves without singing the blues." So she steps up to the mic and she says, "I'm a babysitter," and the band goes, da-da-da-da. Now that was a good scene, and that turns into her personal blues song. I like that moment, but I don't know. This movie as a whole never quite caught hold for me. It kept drifting back and forth between realism and absolute unbelievable fantasy, and I was never sure they were visiting the real Chicago or a movie Chicago. Ferris Bueller, to me, which is a parallel story, was more believable. I don't think they were ever really sure in this movie whether it was a fantasy or not. It was a close call. A lot of good stuff in this movie, still a thumbs down.
And a close call for me, but a thumbs up because I thought there were enough funny scenes that I was taken aback by it. At first I thought this was going to be just another wild night out, and I don't think it was just another wild out. I think this Elizabeth Shue caught my fancy. And when she is in the blues bar, suddenly the whole picture comes alive, and from then on they had me. I was going with them. I wasn't sure what they were going to do next. They really run all over the town. I think that, and if you're going to compare Chicago teenage adventure movies, that in the narrow category, I think that this is much more entertaining than Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
There was one thing in this movie, one area they got into and then they didn't get into it, and that is a lot of the adventures that these white suburban kids have are with black Southsiders in Chicago. In a blues bar, in a chop shop, there's a thief, there's a car thief. Later on, there's a hitman. And so I thought, well, are they going to get into some sort of these kids are entering into a different world here and they're meeting different people? But no, the black characters all just stayed in their roles. One was a thief and one was a blues singer. We didn't get the interaction that I would have enjoyed.
Okay, well, we got interaction, which is frankly more than sometimes happens in the cities.
That's true.
And the other thing is, there was one kid who is pivotal. We're not sure which way he's going to go, and so I think there was some racial balance in the film. I thought some of the portrayal was racially was a little dangerous, but every time you bring up race in the movies, you're not so sure if they're doing it right. On balance, I like the picture.
And the blues bar scene that we're talking about, now that all by itself was a fabulous scene.